so I'm doing a little bit of housework and getting ready to take laundry off the drying racks and take it upstairs. And I was in the back room down here. I dehumidify it. It is, of course, real humid. It's Georgia. All right, so yeah, I at least try to dehumidify that room every few days. There are no plants in that room anymore. So anyhow, yeah, you walk out of that room and it's like, whoa. But our mom gave this to me a few months ago. I guess she's just kind of gone through stuff from when we were children and gave me a bunch of pictures of myself and things like that. But yeah, what I thought I would talk about is um, early childhood. And, children are spiritual and children see things that adults often don't. And adults should listen to children and some don't. Is it many that don't? But yeah, so I think it's probably before my brother closest to me in age was born, and I'm sure it was. And I don't know how visible this is going to be. But yeah, I colored in books, and the older I got, my dad really discouraged that. He would get very upset, even when I would draw in the phone book. I would just kind of do that almost, do I want to say nervous? Some kids just do that, that never bothered me when I taught, not at all, but I don't know, maybe dad just didn't want books being bothered. But yeah, so there's some real creepy little drawings on that I've done here that I did when I was really young. All right, so was any of it mediumship? I don't know. Is that possible? Could it have been that I was seeing spirits around and things like that? Again, there's some creepy looking stuff here. It's kind of like you might see some of it is sort of art that an adult might do. But yeah, so yeah. What do I want to do? I don't want the book to fall apart, but I just thought I'd so, what do I want to try to find? There's a whole lot in here, and a lot that looks kind of like faces. I think I must have been really young. All right, but this is a reminder, I think, of being left alone with books. And yeah, so what am I surrounded by here? Thankfully, I have my dog, and I have plants, and I have a lot of books. And yeah, so when my ex left, well, when some of the times that we moved, I had to sell books, and I have also given away many books. But yeah, so I think, again, like I said, I must have just been left alone a lot with books. You kind of come out and you're thought to be, yeah, she can walk. Yeah, that baby doesn't need anyone to make sure she doesn't get hurt. And well, given a book and something to write or draw with, I did that. Here's a face that I've colored blue. And that's pretty good in the lines for whatever really young age I must have been. So here's another blue face. The brother closest to me in age is about 2.5 years younger than me. And yeah, this was certainly before that. All right, so a whole lot of blue here. I was really having fun. And actually, I had a dream quite a few years, probably over 20 years ago now, about someone said something about the color cerulean blue, and I had not ever learned that color. And when I looked to see what cerulean blue was, it looked like what was in my dream. But yeah, I think that's a little bit of kind of a cerulean blue. That was when I worked at the lab. All right, so I think that was before I long-term substitute taught physics and physical science, and that was before I taught middle school. So yeah, here's another drawing. And yeah, what does this say to me? Again, children are spiritual, and sometimes children see things adults don't see, and also, I like this one. I don't know how visible that is, but sometimes children see things adults don't see. Also, a parent. I don't know, what is a parent supposed to do, really? I guess there's a question, but being left alone a lot, I do have memories of being in a room alone by myself with white walls all around. So, yeah. And, plenty of early childhood memories that I don't tend to think of my early childhood memories as being bad, I remember seeing myself from outside of myself when there was a kitchen fire, uh, and we were outside on the sidewalk, and my mom was carrying me, and I was wearing Winnie the Pooh pajamas. It's almost like a photograph, but no, there was no photograph of that. And yeah, so really, I mean, undergraduate degree in biology, and I think that was a good thing for me to major in. But why would someone who who does this kind of thing, and maybe that's all children, why would she be prevented from earning a degree in art? And thinking about our dad being an artist, and dad not being able to make a living as an artist, and trying and really liking to teach, wanting to be a support for people. Why was that? The only why is someone that likes making obstacles for a person. So yeah, some body art form sticker just that's too funny. So all right. Well, I'm just gonna keep on with this a little bit because again, young children. I mean, when I was in the classroom, well, young children are real funny to me. Children are, and seeing what children draw, they always have things to tell you about what they've drawn, and there's a whole lot to see. Um, and I was thinking yesterday about the child in the 5-year-old behavioral intervention classroom when I was doing field work for that class that was just messed up. Him being sent back from reading group because instead of writing red box and blue box, he wrote pink box and orange box, and it's like, that's a 5-year-old. I mean, pink, orange. Well, he's being creative. He's writing orange, and I mean that's longer than red or blue. What? And she was punishing him for that, and that's not okay. That's not okay. So I was thinking, what could happen for that teacher, even though it's been many years, as far as red and blue? What needs to happen for her? So she was being punitive about that. I don't know, but anyhow, yeah. So here, all right. I mean, really, when someone has done harm like that, there have to be consequences. And maybe it's feeling haunted, maybe it's having fears, and not fears of humans, but just fears. Maybe when a person does harm like that, that person is making ghosts. Maybe that person is making ghosts from those children, even while the children are alive, children being harmed. So yeah. And I think about strength. It's just so important to draw strength from what you've been put through, and to and to help children learn to do that. Maybe children kind of do it naturally, maybe, but I'm not sure. Everyone's different. So, all right. I mean, yeah, there are a whole lot of pages in this book, and when I look at this, I think, well, I mean, that took some. Does it take discipline? I mean, is that something that I've had my whole life, whether or not anyone acknowledges it? Because things that I was said to at home were things like, you're extrinsically motivated, and you what else? What was another one? Unmotivated. And yeah, just things that put you down when you're being a child and you're being age normative. And yeah, I mean, grades in school, how important is that? I could say thank goodness for grandparents when grandparents are not punitive about things like that. And I think plenty of grandparents, they just appreciate their grandchildren as little humans. But yeah, gray face here. And yeah, so I look at this and I'm like, wow, was I drawing? Did I see someone else? Or, sometimes it's like, well, I'm making, was I kind of making it so that, well, was I lonely? Is a reflection of loneliness? Or again, spiritual, and yeah, what is imagination and what isn't? Again, it's real important to listen to children. And yeah, is there anything else in here? I mean, the book is not torn up. Here's something. I think, I did not tear up, well, over many years, I guess, the book fell apart. I don't think I tore the cover off the book. um, I'm trying to be careful enough with it. But, yeah, what did I do? I drew on pages. I added to drawings, and how old am I? 57. So this book is probably about as old as I am. And yeah, just a little bit on the front, and here's this drawing again on the back inside of the cover, and the back of the book seems to be missing. But yeah, so books, books. It's nice to have books, but yeah, well, mediumship, and again, thinking about young children, and yeah, that people need to be doing that. People need to be thinking about, what I really hope is that people are thinking beyond. I really hope people are thinking about harm that's being done to children. There's a lot of harm, and does not always make the news. I mean, what's happened to news? It's confusing, but yeah, children are important. Some of us feel like children are sacred, and we don't have children of our own. But they're little humans. So anyhow, yeah, mediumship. It's a question, and yeah, well, I hope hope you enjoyed that.